desktop workstations and laptops, even if you're connecting on the laptop over Wi-Fi. A mobile device connects over a mobile network. This is still the projection. 2014 is when, overall, in general, we'll see more internet activity over mobile devices than tethered devices. We've already seen that crossing point in a number of different areas. For example, people spend more time on Facebook on mobile devices than tethered devices, and on social media in general on mobile devices than tethered devices. So I just want to ask you a quick question, and this is why I have your phones out and your tablets out. What I'd like you to do is consider whether you have ever, before this one doesn't count, if you've ever taken a poll over your mobile device. And if you have, just go into your text messaging. This is just standard SMS text messaging, and enter the code 99525 if you have, 99526 if you have not. And if for some reason you can't get to your cell network, your mobile network, and you can get to Twitter, which would be weird because my data network has sucked in the hotel, the cell network has been fine, you can text to @poll and then the same number. You can see that we have had there we go. While I'm letting you vote, because it does take a few minutes for all of this to hit the internet and get back onto the computer, I want to just share a couple of interesting statistics with you. More than a third of companies plan to launch a mobile ad campaign within the next 12 months. 46% have already created mobile versions of their websites. 45% have created apps. And mobile has achieved the highest adoption rate of any new technology since Wired began tracking adoption rates of new technology. So we've got 24 results so far, and that's interesting that more of you have taken a mobile poll before. Have you seen this? This is a service called Poll Everywhere. That's at polleverywhere.com. Basically, you go onto the site, you create the poll, it sends you a PowerPoint slide that you then add to your presentation, and as long as the device you're presenting from has internet access, you're able to do the poll. So we are now up to 33 results, and you can keep voting. If you're really interested to see how it comes out, we can go back to this at the end of the presentation. I have another one of these coming up. But let's get into our DeLorean time machine, make sure the flux capacitor is working, and go back to a couple of points in organizational communications history where, as a profession, we as organizational communicators blew it very, very badly. When new technologies emerged, we as a profession didn't see them as important and abdicated these technologies to other departments and to boutiques when they were communication technologies. The first of these was desktop publishing. Other people embraced desktop publishing while we continued to go out to designers and do things traditionally. I was working for Mattel Toys. I was director of corporate communications at Mattel Inc. at the time, and what we found was an explosion of 8.5 by 11 newsletters produced by every department in the company. Right, and distributed to every employee. This was before email, but it was email overload. And people started to complain about all the newsletters that they were getting and that they had to go through. And eventually, we not only had to figure out how to use this ourselves in order to produce more timely communication in the print days, but we had to get other people who had embraced and adopted it to stop, or at least to use it more strategically. The second, of course, is the World Wide Web. Because the first worldwide websites in our corporations were developed not by marketers, not by PR people, not by communicators, but by IT departments. Because they were the only ones who were interested. As a profession, communicators looked at the World Wide Web and said, none of our audiences are there. This is not something I was trained for. This isn't something I'm really familiar with, and it's too geeky for me. And I'm not going to have anything to do with it. Of course, it exploded on the scene. The number of people who used the web to get information about businesses and products and services proliferated at an incredible rate. And suddenly we went, wait a minute, this is a communication channel where we can reach our audiences. We can make changes real quickly. We can get multiple media up there. It's a whole lot less costly than print, so it seemed in the early days. And what we had to do was go banging on the door of the IT department and essentially said, you can't have that, you're not communicators. Having you do the web is like having the printers create the content for the publications. And we tried to take it away, and it created some very acrimonious relationships between communications and IT. And those relationships are still rocky in a lot of organizations because of that point in history where we tried to grab the web from the IT department that had the passion and the desire and the motivation and had put in the effort to create those sites. We are at another one of those points right now. I am very worried that as a profession, we are abdicating mobile to somebody else and are not paying attention to it. And within 3 or 4 years, mark my words, the vast majority of the communication that people consume, whether it's internal or external, will not be on a tethered device. It'll be on a mobile device. And if we don't figure out how to communicate over mobile now, then we're going to be playing catch-up while boutiques and IT departments are out there doing the work that we should be doing. Make no mistake, this is a communication issue. And we have to work with a lot of other people. Nobody expects a communicator to develop an app, for example. I have no interest in learning the coding for an app, but we're the storytellers. We're the ones who understand what information a consumer or an employee needs when they're looking for information. What are the conditions under which they're looking? What is the context in which they're looking? It is not just a matter of mobile websites and apps. And when I talk to people in the communications profession who have figured out that mobile is important, this tends to be what they're talking about. It's like, I gotta build some apps. Apps are cool. Gotta have some apps. Gotta mobile optimize our website. And the whole thing gets to be about shrinking the website we have down to a size that fits on a 3.5 or 4.5 or 10.5-inch screen. It's not just a matter of taking what we already have and plopping it into an app or an optimized website. This is a paradigm shift, and I use that phrase advisedly because I know that it has become corporate jargon where any kind of minor little change somebody proclaims is a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift is a change in the standard routine way that we think about something. And the classic example of a paradigm shift is watchmaking. Because for a couple of 100 years, watchmaking was Swiss. They knew how to make those mechanical watches, and they were caught completely by surprise as watchmaking shifted from mechanical to digital, and it became the province of the Japanese instead of the Swiss.